Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis, hence the name of my channel, Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. 4 years ago, I was asked to come up with a series of videos that were filmed inexpensively. We don't use digital cameras, we don't use fluid head tripods, we don't use shotgun microphones, we wear tatty shirts, we just use a phone. But we look at cars that you can buy for a budget up to £1,000 only, and we very much enjoy ourselves. These are cars that might be in cosmetically bad condition. You might see oil leaks, rattly dashboards and cosmetic imperfections, but we go all over the country and we find these very inexpensive cars that you all seem to enjoy watching. Well, viewers, same car park as about 4 months ago, and another Volvo. Does that mean it's new car day again, viewers? Why, yes it does. This is a 2006 Volvo S40 2.4 SE Geartronic. I did say 2.4, viewers, and it's because it's got a 5-cylinder white block engine. We like 5-cylinder white block engines very much, viewers, but this one isn't the T5. You could get a T5 for the S40s. You can also get all-wheel drive. This car is just a front-wheel drive, and it's the SE spec, which the majority of these probably had SE in the trim name. There's so many trim levels of this car, and they're basically based around 3 different levels of specification, but there's just so many variations. We'll get into those later, but the SE is more kind of normal spec, really. There's some options on this car, I think, as well, but it's got everything that you need. The one thing it doesn't have is a beige leather interior, but it does still have a leather interior. It's more kind of, I don't know, like a grey interior, I don't know, olive interior. Somebody tell me in the comment section below what colour this is. It's not a beige leather interior, but it's very close to one, and we've got wood, so I am happy. In fact, we'll get inside here, so I'll be even happier out of this rain. So we've got 104,000 miles on it at the moment. I got this from a very nice chap who is a fellow Volvo Owners Club member, as you can see from the sticker there. He's also in the Portsmouth section of Volvo Owners Club, and he just happened to be selling it. And well, I'd seen this car before at some of the shows. It is an award-winning car, like my 460 actually is, one of the local shows. But I was looking for something just a little bit more modern and practical to replace my Road 45 V6, and this is it. We've got quite a good specification on this. We've got climate control, we've got heated seats, which are just down the bottom there. The air conditioning does need to be sorted out. It's not just a regas, it needs something else. Well, it's got this bizarre arrangement for the key, which goes here and then just sort of turns like that. So you can see sort of here, that screen sort of comes on, just turn that fan down a little bit. It's got a CD player in here, but in fact it's got a multi-changer, but that's also broken. So we're going to have to do something about that at some stage. 12-volt socket down here, traction control and stability control is just there. One really weird thing about this car, let's see if I can film it through here, is that there's a massive compartment here for putting things in. You think you can't put things here, well it's just behind there. It's what I call a floating centre console, I think what we called it at the time. My autofocus is a bit wrong. We do have cruise control though, which is nice. That's what I would have needed. Fuel door release, I think, is that thing there. Very, very strange position in terms of the headlight switch. The 0 is down there on the left as opposed to being at the top and turning it to the right, but Volvos were a bit like that back in the day. So although this car is based on the same platform as a Mark II Ford Focus, I don't see any Ford switchgear in here at all. It's all unique to Volvo. We've got cubby hole here for things. Another one here, the armrest, where we've got a little bit of touch-up there, which is absolutely wonderful. Barent Blue is the name of this colour on the car. Glove box. I've not sure I can fit my secret mission documents in here, but we have got there's manuals and things in there. Soft touch dash, of course, which feels good, and lots of luxurious leather and a bit of wood too. How could I possibly say no to a car like this when I was offered it by one of the fellow members of the Volvo Owners Club Portsmouth section? One thing I don't like particularly though is the door pockets, which are absolutely tiny. It's an absolute joke. I don't even know what I can fit in them, and my phone will go in there, but I don't know about what else. It is a little bit of a weird sight, viewers, in that way. We'll also see if we can get into the boot. Make sure I take the key with me, that'd be sensible. There we go. I've got 2 keys with this as well, which is nice. So the boot is 404 litres, but the opening is a little bit strange. So it opens nice like that. I've actually been given a car cover with this as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not, but I have been given one, which is nice. So it's quite a small opening, and it goes back a really long way. Like, you can fit an awful lot in this, and obviously more in the related V50 estate, which is very similar to this, just a different body style. But yeah, it's a bit strange. I'm sure the aperture on the other 2 saloon cars that I've had, which are the 45 V6 and the 460, are bigger than this, but there we go. Don't know what that's really for. I think it's for dividing the boot. Warning triangle, of course, because that's the sort of person that I am. I like warning triangles. Just have to undo these and open this. I think we can do that. There we are. And we've got a space saver spare wheel, locking wheel nut key. Everything is in here. That is a bit annoying, actually. That I'm going to have to sort that out. Oh, there we go. I think we're sorted out. Yeah, that is annoying. Yeah, but very, very, very deep boot. You can also fold the seats if you want to. You've got parking sensors on this, and to be honest, you do kind of need them, because the rear window looks massive, but because of these headrests, and I might put those down a little bit, and because it's not a very tall window at all. It's big, it's not very tall, so actually reversing is a little bit tricky. One thing I am probably going to do is get rid of this aftermarket tinting. Now, the previous owner had this because he had his grandchild regularly in the car and wanted to sort of keep it sort of calm in that environment, but it does make it quite dark, so I think we are probably going to take that out. Apologies for doing that to the previous owner. So we get in the back, and actually, if you put the seat in my driving position, there's not a ton of room in here. It's not the most capacious in the back, but if you think about what this car's up against, and when it came out in 2004, it was the E46 BMW 3 Series was the main competitor to this, along with the Audi A4 and the Mercedes C-Class. So Caravan E46 is about the same, really, I would say. 12-volt socket in the back, which is quite handy. Cup holders in the armrest. Can we? Yes. And there's another place to put odds and ends in there as well, which is sensible. There's also a pocket just here for other things as well, which is very, very sensible. Someone's clearly very sort of thoughtfully put different features in this interior. Mat pockets, lumbar adjustment on there as well. The seats are actually electrically adjustable in this car, which is nice. We do like our luxury on this channel, views. Budget luxury is the name of the game. Just got sort of very standard looking alloy wheels on this. Tyres are all good. Brakes have been done quite recently, which is good. There are 17-inch wheels on this. They're a little bit scuffed, but I don't really care, to be honest, about that kind of thing. If I'm going to be using this on a daily basis, I'm not really that fussed about that. What I'm more fussed about is actually underneath the bonnet, where it has a lovely 5-cylinder white block engine. So 1 gas strut, not 2, but here is the 5-cylinder 2.4 white block engine, in this case no turbo, generating 167 horsepower. Only the cars up to 2008 actually had this engine in them. they discontinued the 1.8 and 2.4 engines by the time that the sort of minor facelift occurred in 2010. A major facelift was 2007, so after this car was actually made. Got the Volvo cam butt sticker on there. Actually, it was done last in 2020, so no need to worry about it for quite some time in this. I think it's on like 8 years in one of these. But we've got everything quite tightly packed, because you know, if you drop a massive 2.4 5-cylinder engine into the same platform as a Ford Focus, although this is a stretched version of that, the C30 was a bit more similar to the Mark II Focus because it's a shorter car. This is an elongated version of that. And actually, as I understand it, these aren't particularly prone to rust at all. This doesn't have any on it, which is good. Big sort of housing at the front for, you know, radiators and air boxes and all kinds of interesting things, but hopefully won't be going, you know, too much in here. This car does need a service, which Mr. Coleman, Roche Mechanic, the white block Volvo expert, will be doing. And apart from that, there's not really a lot to do. There's only two things on this car that don't work properly. One is the CD player and one is the air conditioning. And apart from that, that's about it. Right, viewers, I will just stop waffling on now and we shall go for a little drive. One thing I really appreciate about this car is it's got a normal handbrake in it. I like cars with normal handbrakes. I suspect most of you do. Trip computer in this car says it's doing about 30 miles per gallon on average, which I can understand. It is a white block engine Volvo after all, but I'm expecting a bit more when I do a long journey in this car tomorrow. So the ride of this car on this incredibly bumpy surface is pretty good. This isn't the R design or the T5 or anything, and so the suspension is relatively comfortable in this and compliant, which is the way that I normally like my cars to be. I don't like them too sort of soft. I mean, the 460 that I have is very, very soft, and this is a little bit on the kind of firmer side, and that is absolutely fine. I've got a good balance. It's not perhaps as involving drive as all the older cars I've had. It's not a rear 45 V6 or anything like that, and it's not as fast as the C70 T5 that I've had, but this is going to be a lot more reliable than the C70 T5. The engine's available in one of these when they were launched in 2004 were a 1.6 with 98 horsepower. Actually, I think they might have been slightly later than 2004. A 1.8 with 123 horsepower, which was also available as a flex fuel car in this country, and a 2-litre version of that 4-cylinder engine with 142 horsepower. Now, some of the engine options were dropped in future years. The 2.4, like this one with 167 horsepower, was dropped in 2008. I think the 1.8 was dropped soon after that. Top of the range was the 2.5 white block turbo, the T5, which is the same engine as in the contemporary Ford Focus ST. Of course, you know, Focus ST is just one of these underneath, or one of these underneath is an elongated Focus ST, so that's good. That was 216 horsepower when the car was launched, and then later, I think in 2007, when the major facelift came in, it was upped to 226 horsepower, which is more than adequate, I think, for most people's needs. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. What we do talk about is the just quite relaxed and easy nature of this car. Although, actually, it feels quite fast. There's a lot of torque in a 5-cylinder white block engine, and this just has loads of it. The 45 V6 I used to have had a bit less power, but 148 horsepower. And nowhere near the level of torque this does. 0 to 60 time is not that impressive on paper. It's about 8.6 seconds, but it feels a lot faster. If you had a manual one of these, it would be I think 7.9 seconds, which I think is quite fast actually. Certainly with the T5, those are sort of, you know, well under 7 seconds. But yeah, driving down these roads which do have a really bad surface on them, the car's coping very, very well actually. I've driven this car at some higher speeds when I test drove it, and it was again fine, just very relaxed in character and very, very sort of solid feeling. And I'm just very much looking forward to just having this as a car that is a sort of older daily car, but still to me quite interesting. I think that's really how I'd sum it up, and I'm very grateful again to the previous owner of this car for offering it to me a very reasonable amount of money, and also the way he's looked after it. He's done all, you know, everything you could really hope to do most of the time, just leaving me with just a couple of things to sort out, and then that's it. So yeah, overall this is a very nice car. It won't be to everybody's taste, but it is to mine. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Let's now look at some Volvo S40 second generation trim levels. So there were around kind of 4 main ones, which were R Design, Sport, SE, and then the sort of ES and S model, which were sort of further down the range. But there were so many variations on these. So we had R Design Edition, R Design Premium, R Design Premium SE, R Design SE, R Design Sport, and R Design SE Sport. And then Sport and SE, but then SE went on forever, like SE Edition, SE Lux, SE Lux Edition, XE Lux Premium, SE Premium, SE Sport. Do you see what I mean? There's sort of about 4 trim levels, but they all tend to have these kind of massive variations on them for some reason. The car was built in Belgium. This one would have been built in Belgium, Malaysia, South Africa and China. Why the car was built in Malaysia, I don't know, but Malaysia is a nice place to visit. Anyway, should you consider a Volvo S40 second generation with your hard-earned budget of up to £1,000, well, this one cost a fair bit more than No Budget Reviews money actually. It didn't cost a lot for what this car is, but if you're looking at one of these for under £1,000, you need to be quite careful. You're going to have things like timing belts that probably haven't been changed. You might have some kind of bits of trim or whatever that maybe have fallen off and things like that. Not that this is a badly built car, actually they're very well built, but they're not quite really sort of cars that I can recommend you spend under £1,000 on, unless you get a really good deal. They're more maybe £2,000 to £3,000 cars, but of course this is No Budget Reviews, and the rules are that you can buy one with an MOT that's in really good condition for under £1,000, and so that's what you can do. But I'm very happy with my new purchase. I hope my lady wife is going to like this one more than she liked the Volvo 460. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more inexpensive motoring.